Hello children, how are you all? I hope you all are fit and fine, keeping well as well as studying well. Okay, as we have started a new term, you have already finished with one chapter, that is mensuration, chapter 10. Now today we are going to start a new chapter, but before we start a new chapter, let's see one example and then we'll start the chapter. Okay, suppose I am a shopkeeper. I'm keeping, I have stationery items. Okay, now stationery items means you can understand that pen, pencil, books, textbooks, notebooks, everything we are keeping. Okay, so let's take one example of a book. Okay, so a book. Okay, suppose there is one student. Okay, there is a one student. Okay, this one student comes and asks for two books. Okay, there is another student come and asks for four books. There is a third student come and ask for the three books. Now you can understand and you can see that this student is coming and asking for two books. Here we can consider that this all three students are asking for the same book. No change in the cost, no change in the book. Okay, so this first student come and asking for the two books. So this student has to pay for the two books. Now when he is paying or she is paying for the two books, the amount of the book, now here amount of the book will be multiplying with 2. Now suppose this student has to pay for 4 books and he or she will be paying for 4 books. So as the amount is same, we are multiplying with the amount with the 2 books, here amount with the 4 books and here amount with the 3 books. Now we know that okay, this student wants 2 books, this student wants 4 books, this student wants 3 books. But and we also know that if they have to pay, they have to multiply with the amount. They have to multiply with the amount. But the question is, what is the amount? Okay, the question is what is the amount? Now, if I ask you for the amount that if we think of an amount, that what can be the amount? So here we may have many options, we may come many thoughts in mind. Suppose I may think of 50 rupees, someone else may think 40 rupees, you must be thinking 30 rupees, 20 rupees, 10 rupees. So here so many options are there. Why these options are there? Because we don't know the actual or fixed number. Okay, so we don't know the actual number here. So there may be many more possibilities for the amount. It may be 50 rupees, it may be 10 rupees, it may be 30 rupees, 20 rupees, 100 rupees. Okay, so but here you can see these numbers are fixed, that this student wants 2 books, this student wants 4 books, this student wants 3 books. That is for sure, that is fixed number. That's why we have written the number. As we don't know the amount of the book, we have not written anything. So here you can say that this value is not fixed. It can be any value. Suppose one shopkeeper, as I am a shopkeeper, I know the value, but till I don't tell you the value of the book, you don't know what is the amount of the book. So the reason of giving this example is that today which chapter we are going to start, it is all about finding the value, the unknown value know the value, if you don't know the value. But one thing is for sure, that there is one possible number. Now when you are thinking of unknown possible number, then you have to learn that how to, if the number is not there, still how can we use it in our day-to-day life. So here we are going to start our chapter 11, algebra. Okay, so here we are going to start our chapter 11. Okay, so chapter 11, algebra. Now, so far, means till 6th standard, you have learned many things about many things in maths. Now see, the maths is like a tree, and it has many branches of different methods. Now when you have learned numeric operations, that is addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, you have also learned fractions, decimals. Now here what you have done is all about numbers. So when you are just only talking about numbers, you have also learned integers also. So when you are applying or doing operations with the numbers, that is called arithmetic. What we call it? Arithmetic. So you have learned about arithmetic. You have studied arithmetic. You have also studied 2D shapes, 3D shapes. 2D means two-dimensional figures, three-dimensional figures. You have also learned its properties. Okay, so when you are learning the something, the method and how to apply, and when you have learned about shapes, that you have learned as a geometry. Okay, so this too you are very well aware. Arithmetic, where you are doing from operations with the numbers. Geometry is something about shapes and figures. Now the same way, algebra is the third branch of maths. Okay, so algebra is not a particular chapter. What you are studying in Form 6, it's a kind of ABCD of algebra. Okay, you are learning very basic things about algebra, and it is very interesting and useful also in your day-to-day life. So, what I mean to say is, arithmetic is a different branch of mathematics. Geometry is another branch of mathematics, and algebra is a separate branch of mathematics. So algebra is having its own rules, own terms. So many a times the problem in understanding algebra is you keeps on relating with the arithmetic. So here, if you want to learn it properly and nicely, it means if you want to learn it without confusion, then you don't have to relate it with the arithmetic or geometry, because it is a total different branch of mathematics. Okay, so today we are going to learn algebra. Now, how algebra is useful in our day-to-day life? If you remember the example which I have given, there I have told you that we don't know the value of book. Now, till we don't know the value of book, then how the student can pay to the shopkeeper? That is, suppose, okay, if I am a shopkeeper, then I need amount. When I am selling the books, I need to take money for the books, and for that I have to tell the value, the amount of the book to the person. Now, till I don't tell the amount, till I don't know the value of the amount, it is not possible to pay. So, Here, algebra is teaching us that how to find out the value of unknown, unknown, how to find out unknown value, how to find out the value of something. Okay, so here now we'll just talk about algebra, that what is algebra, and then we'll start. Then I'll show you one more or two more examples, and then we'll start with the chapter. Okay, so here if we talk about the algebra, algebra is the study to use letters. Okay, when you have to find out unknown value, then you have to use letters. Now letters means small letters, alphabets. Okay, so here for unknown value is we'll be using letters, alphabets, letters, and we'll find out the value of the unknown numbers. Okay, now how this is useful to us in a day-to-day life? It is useful us to in a day-to-day life to know the formulas or general rules. If you remember the properties, the chapter 2 whole numbers, where you have studied the properties of whole numbers. You have studied the property, associative property, commutative property, all the properties are there. Actually, when we have learned, we have directly understood with the numbers. But suppose if I don't have any numbers and still I want to explain the concept of the property, the formula of the property, the general rule of the property, then this algebra is useful to us. How it is useful? Suppose if I want to explain the property, that is suppose a commutative property. Now what is commutative property? Now commutative property says that if you add or multiply numbers in any order, it will give you the same value. Now how this algebra is useful us to explain the general rule or property without putting a number. Now as I have said that we are using letters for unknown numbers, then you have to treat these letters as numbers only. Okay, so you don't have to consider it as alphabets. When you are putting at the place of number, directly, indirectly it becomes a number, or you can replace it later when you come to know the value. Okay, so here if I explain you the commutative property, suppose if I want to do commutative property. So commutative property says that if you add or multiply two numbers or more than two numbers in any order, it will give you the same value. So it will be like this: A plus B is equals to B plus C. Okay, so here you can see that I have used a letters here. Okay, I have used letters. Which letters are explaining? Sorry, it was A. That letters are explaining orders. Here I have added A plus B. In front of that I am using B plus A. Means I am trying to explain that I am changing the order, but still they are equal. This equals to sign says that they are equal. If I do A plus B or B plus A. Now you will tell that, madam, you are saying that this is like something, you have to take or you have to understand this alphabets as a number only, but how they will give us the answer. So here in the beginning you don't have to think of getting the answer, you just have to understand the concept of this. Now when I am talking about this general rule of commutative property, this way I can explain associative property also. I can explain many more rules. I can explain the rule of the formula of perimeter, the formula of area, perimeter of square, area of square. Okay, that also I will tell you that you are directly indirectly using the algebra but you don't know that actually what you are doing. So we'll relate it also. Okay, but first we'll understand this, then we'll go to the formulas and the rules which you have already studied. You have already used algebra without your knowledge. Okay, so here A and B, A plus B or B plus A, it is the same. Now, if I want to solve it, as I have said, that if I ask you what can be the value of A, what can be the value of B? So here again there are lots of options. You can say infinite options are open for the value of A, value of B. Till you don't know the fixed value. So you may think value of A as a 10, you may think value of A as a 5, value of A can be 3, 1, 0, it can be anything. Okay, so value of this alphabets is not fixed. When it is not fixed, means you can say it varies. It varies means there are many more possibilities. Then we call this alphabets variable. Okay, so what we call this alphabets, what we are using as a you can say as an option of numbers, this alphabets can be called variables. Why we call it variables? So variables means whose value varies, means whose value is not fixed. So when you are using alphabets, small letters, then those small letter alphabets called variable. So this is variable. I have used variable. Now I can use any small letter. It is not fixed that I have to use only A, B. But these are the maximum. These are the alphabets which we are maximum, which are used. Maximum formulas and maximum general rules are be presented by using these letters only. Okay, so when you are using small alphabets, small letters, this small letters called variable. Now again we go back that where and which places we can use the algebra. So algebra is very much useful in our day-to-day life. Wherever you want to find out the value of unknown number or unknown value, if you want to find out whatever puzzles you want to solve, whatever problems you want to solve, mathematical problems, the algebra is very helpful in solving these problems and the puzzles, or in our day-to-day life many more problems, directly indirectly we are using algebra and solving it. Okay, recently you have finished with our chapter 10 mensuration. Okay, you have learned mensuration, you have learned formulas of area. Okay, area of, suppose if I say area of square, area of rectangle. Okay, you have learned perimeter of square, perimeter of rectangle. Okay, let us revise the formulas of it. Okay, what is the area of a square? That is S into S. Okay, rectangle L into B. Square 4 multiplied by side, or you can say length of a side. Okay, length, or you can say L, you can say S, anything you can take. Perimeter of square, it is 2 into L plus B. Can you see that in the formula I have used many variables? Now you can understand that these are called variables. Till you don't know the length and breadth, you are presenting the formulas in Okay, so this way, this is your recent example, this is your recent chapter what you have studied and you have recently completed, yet you have used a variable without your knowledge. So that to understand the concept of variable, I am explaining you this, I'm presenting you, or I'm giving you the example of this formulas, that these are the formulas which you have recently used in your chapter 10, where without your knowledge you have used variables, you have replaced its fixed value. You all know that when you have, suppose you are finding any missing number, that is suppose you are finding the missing length or missing breadth, you all know you are using the variable and you are finding at the end, you are finding the missing length or missing breadth. So this is the basic introduction of algebra, that okay, so when the value is not fixed, that is variable. So let's go back to our example. Okay, let's go back to our example. There were three students. Okay, this student wants 2 books, this student wants 4 books, and this wants 3 books. But you don't know what is the amount. This you don't know. So can I use a variable for this? Okay, suppose I take x here. That I don't know the amount of the book. So for me, the amount of the book is x. Okay, as they all are buying the same book, so that is also here also x. Okay, so here also x, and here also x. Okay, so if whatever the value is not fixed, we are calling it variable. This we call variable. Okay, so this is variable, and this is also variable. And what we call these numbers? These numbers are called constant. Okay, so the numbers which are fixed, they are called constant. So this 2, 4, 3 are called constant, and the numbers whose value we don't know and we are using small letters, the alphabetical letters, that is called variable. As I have said that these variables we are using for unknown number, the unknown value. So you have to understand and you have to treat this variable as the numbers only. Okay, so suppose 2 multiplied by x. So suppose if you have a number, what you will do? You will multiply with this. But here we don't have a number. So here, as I have said, you don't have to think that, madam, how we can get the answer. Just now you don't have to focus on the answer. Just now you have to understand the concept of variable, how we can apply the formulas, how we can apply the operations on them. Okay, what way you can present, that you have to write. So when 2 will multiply with x, that can be written as 2x. Now here this is something new. Till now whatever operations you were using, you will be putting all the sign in between, multiplication sign also. But when you don't put any sign in between 2, see these are 2 numbers. This is 2 and this is also numbered. Yet we don't know the value of x, the fixed value. Then we can do till here only. So when you write 2x like this way, then it is shows that you have multiplied it because there is no sign. But if you are doing 2 plus x, then you cannot write 2x. Then it is wrong. This 2x can be written when you multiply a constant and a variable. So what will be here? That will be 4x. What will be here? That will be 3x. Okay, so this way I have just explained you that how we can use a variable and constant in the operation of multiplication. The same way we can use a variable and constant in addition also, in subtraction also, in division also. Okay, so this when you are saying solve the problems of our day-to-day calculations in our routine life. Many problems, many calculations, many unknown value we can find out with the help of the algebraic expressions. So in this video we have learned a basic concept, or you can say just introduction of algebra. Now here I want to give you some work that in the textbook you have to read the introduction of algebra. You have to also read the different examples. So that I am telling you that you have to read page number 221, 222 and 223. So these are the they are explaining. So please go through all the examples and everything what they have given you. In our next video, we'll take some examples, more examples, and then we'll see that how can we use algebra to find the algebraic expressions. Okay, till then, thank you, bye.